Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from simpleprogrammer.com. So I got this email, and I'm not going to say the name because the first name is sort of unique, and he definitely wants to keep this confidential. But basically, here's the questions. Here's the question. I'm gonna summarize this because it's kind of long, but we'll call him Joe. So Joe works in a services company. They have a well-known storage startup as a client, for whom they're writing a test automation framework and automating test cases. Okay, so this is right up my alley because that's what I still consult and help people do this. So the client had to outsource this project to them because their original framework wasn't very effective. So for this, the client has purchased a very costly proprietary test automation framework. Automation and manual testers in the client organization are not happy with this proprietary framework and have been showing unwillingness to work with it by expressing that we, the third party, are doing a very inferior job, as well as the proprietary test automation framework is inferior as well. So this is a commonplace thing, right? I'm sure you've encountered this in your workplace. I know I have. So basically, they're not cooperating. The automation and manual testers won't share the information. They're raising concerns. It's there's resistance from the customer. So a lot of the team is like interviewing for other jobs. They're preparing to leave the project, and they're not actually doing any work. Whereas Joe here is spending sleepless nights working on this framework without much support. So he says here, the work is so time consuming that I don't find much time to work on a side project or upgrade my skills. I find myself working 12 hours a day and 7 days a week. I had shown my concerns to management in my organization, but nothing has changed. Mail has already got too long, so I would just wrap. Oh yeah, sorry. He's wrapping up there because this was a long email. So he wants to know what he should do, and he said, should I resign from the job? I won't be able to find a job immediately, given that I have 1 year of experience and have spent it on a completely proprietary framework. And should I continue hoping things will get better, or any other alternatives you would suggest? So, Joe, as we'll call you. So here's the thing. This is common, right? This happens all the time. Consultant comes in. In this case, you're the consultant, right? Because you have a client and you are like implementing something that the client couldn't do because they failed at it, right? They suck at it. You guys are better. Consultant comes in. They hate you. They try to show how incompetent you are because they're feeling threatened by this. This is a very commonplace practice. This happens all the time, right? I've been in this kind of toxic environment multiple times, working in different places where big paid consultants come in. In this case, you are the big paid consultant, right? Or your company is. So it sucks, right? You're on either side of it. There's problems, but we're not going to get into that. I want to address what you can do, because here's the thing. So you cannot hero this thing. You cannot save this whole project. When you tell me you're working 12 hours a day, 7 hours a week, first of all, I commend your effort, right? I'm not going to knock someone who's being heroic, who is like going beyond the call of duty to like do what they feel is right. What I'm going to try and do is convince you that that's not right, because you're wasting your time and effort on this project that might not actually mean anything, that no one else cares about and no one's helping you with. Don't tell management about all the struggles you're having. Instead, set boundaries for yourself, right? So make a boundary. Say, look, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to work 8 hours a day. I'll work hard during those 8 hours, and I will do my best to make sure that this framework is as successful as I can. If other people aren't going to help me and cooperate, then we're going to fail, but we're not going to fail because I didn't fulfill my duties. But stop at that. Set your boundaries. Say, I'm going to work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. I'm not going to work overtime except for in exceptional cases where something needs to be deployed and there's an emergency, but there can't be emergencies all the time. And figure out where the boundaries are on that. I will work up to 4 hours extra a week, or whatever it is. Maybe you're willing to work 9 hours a day or 10 hours a day. I would recommend not doing that. I'd recommend just set it to 8. That's usually what we agree on. And this way you're going to have time for yourself. to train your skills and start developing your skills, right? Start figuring out where you want to go from here, what you're learning from here. If this is a proprietary framework and you want to do test automation, start learning some other things like Selenium and how to build your own framework. You can check out, I've got a Pluralsight course called, if you just search on Selenium, you'll find both of my Pluralsight courses that talk about how to build a framework and how to use Selenium. Those might be helpful to you. I've got a video on this channel about creating an automation framework that might be helpful to you as well. But here's the key thing here, Joe, that's what we'll call you. So you can't let you can't let this job overtake your entire life. You can't go at this pace of 12 hours a day. If you were working for yourself, like building your dream, then I could say, okay, it's going to be hard doing this, but I've done the 12 hours a day for 7 days a week, but I ain't doing that for someone else. Hell no. and you shouldn't either, really. I mean, you need time for yourself. You need to develop your own skills, and you need time to chill out a little bit, right? You can't hero this thing. One person is not going to save this whole project, and even if you did, no one would care. And I don't mean to be mean here, but what I'm saying is that it wouldn't really matter in the end. They're going to be like, oh, thank you, and they'll give you like a little certificate or something, and they'll be happy, and they might even give you a bonus. But they're not going to realize, they're not going to see it from your perspective. They're not going to see how much work and effort you put into it and how you were the person who saved this thing. They're going to realize that you worked hard on it, but you're never going to get the credit that you deserve on it. So don't be like the people that are searching for other jobs and not doing their job correctly, right? That have just given up and are making trouble and they're being lazy. Don't be like that. I'm not saying that at all, right? But what I'm saying is set a boundary. Work 8 hours a day, whatever you're comfortable with, so that you have a balance of time, and work hard when you do work and do the best. And then, again, I like to say this phrase, trust the process. You can't control the results. You can only control what you do. So do what you do to the best that you can, but don't kill yourself for this thing. It's not worth it. All right, I hope that helps you. If you got a question for me, email me at john@simpleprogrammer.com. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Take care.